What's going on, YouTube? This is The Last Musketeer, and welcome to part 2 of the Fire Emblem Heroes free-to-play Is It Worth It series. So while all this is going in the background, I'm going to talk about where I started first, and then go over a couple things because I am having to change how I do this series in particular. I ran into a few bumps and a few different things that made me decide to change how I'm doing it, but the first thing being, we're starting out on Book 1, Chapter 2. So we had, on the first day, done the prologue and Chapter 1, and we checked out some other things. So this is where we'll be starting. My starting team, level 5, level 3, and level 4. So very low. Obviously I hadn't been messing with the 5 stars for a little bit because I was trying to do low rarity, but I have changed my decision on that because ultimately, the way I see it, the game offers a ton of 5 stars. I've got enough to have 4 or 5 different teams set up with new 5 stars in each one. They offer a ton. Just from clearing some of the chapter missions, doing your summons, they come out pretty often. You get your free redeem ones, of course, when you start an account. At least I did. I don't know if that's a thing that happens all the time, but it has really good options and they give you a lot to offer. And I would think that most likely it's because the game has been out for so long that at this point basically everyone has access to them, so it's probably not a good showcase for me to do that. Now I will say though, I didn't start using the 5 stars again until maybe chapter 7, 8, and it's not because I was losing that, but more so because the other events were the problem, the arena especially, because I went into the beginner mode, unranked, basically got destroyed by everyone that I went against. Now I did win the first one, but after that, the main problem was that every other fight that I got into, I just got stomped because with them utilizing the 5 stars as much as they can, there was no way I could possibly win with the lineup that I was using. Now, I do know that if maybe they were lower leveled, I'd have a shot. The problem is, they were the same level as me, and this being the beginning of the arena, the very second match that I started, the third, the fourth, were the same exact way. So there was no way it would be possible for me to showcase anything about doing anything at all in the arena. So I decided, this is the only opportunity that I have to fully showcase the game. And also, you can show off the art style and the combat system, especially for the 5-star heroes, because they have some really nice kits, really nice art styles, and so that's a better showcase of the game overall. But as you can see here, this is a quest from chapter 1, and Marcia is my main damage dealer. The rest of them do a little bit, but not much. I use them for mainly like debuffing. One of them is my healer, and Marcia is basically running through and doing all the damage. Now, one thing I did like is I'm trying out the tactical skills section, and because these do offer a lot of rewards for them, they're very easy to get. It basically tells you at the bottom what you're supposed to do to get through these. Now there are 3 different sections. As you'll see, I did all the tactical drills, got a bunch of rewards from that. Skill studies is another one that I've been working on, and I'm leaving Grandmaster alone for the moment because it takes a lot more thinking on that, but I'm sure the rewards are really good for that as well. So they offer a lot while teaching you a lot of the core mechanics of the game, which is a great way to set up something like that, because then you can utilize a lot of heroes that you may not have, test things out, and see what you think about the overall just combat system. And learning it early on is the most important thing, because that's going to push you a lot further when you already know what you're doing going into it than it would if you're just trying to learn on the go, because then you're going to struggle a little bit dealing with matchups, and there's a lot of different matchups that you really have to think about when it comes to these games. It's always been like that. There's different counters for different heroes, but there's so many different types of units that you really just have to pay attention, not just to the element disadvantage, but to the disadvantage between like a bow, cavalry, that sort of thing. So a lot to utilize. I would recommend 100% going through, if you're a new player, and doing these drills as early as possible, because they do offer you the heroes to complete them with, and this will really help in pushing you a lot further, a lot faster. So the goal going in was on the mythic banner, trying to pull as much as possible to get as many of those mythic heroes as I possibly could. And so basically I didn't get any more of the mythic heroes, though I did get one or two more 5 stars from it before the event actually ended. I didn't pay attention to it. I was holding some gems for it and just completely forgot that it was about to be over. I did get this guy from it. He's not mythic, I believe, but he is really cool looking. He's got a really nice artwork. The kit's very cool. He's one that I'm going to try a little later on. I've got some teams set up that I want to try to level up as I'm going through these other chapters, because as you're moving to the different books, they start over on level wise. So if you wanted new heroes to actually level up, you can utilize them throughout the campaign and beat the campaign with those specific groups if they're strong enough to get through every level. And they'll progress over time really fast, so you won't be behind if you start the next book, because it starts over at level 1. So basically, you're going to have plenty of options to go through. But as you saw there, I got all 4-star heroes. The game is very generous in that aspect. You're going to get a lot more 4s than you do 3s, at least in my personal experience so far. And here is actually the arena part. So I skipped most of the fight because all the fighting in this game is fairly similar. You're trying to do different things, strategizing to get the best possible outcome. But I'm going to show you the second one. So these are all in beginner. As you can see, down there at the top right, there's a hero with green hair. Her name is Tiki, and she just absolutely destroyed my whole team every single time I tried to fight her. Now, matchups do make fights in this game. I am aware of that, but man, it's just so hard to deal with that hero in specifics. Now, if I went back and did it with my 5 stars now, run into that hero, I would have no problem whatsoever getting rid of him. And I don't know if it's a meta hero or if it was offered in what circumstance it was exactly, but every team I ran into after that had that same hero. So every time I just kept getting destroyed. There was no possible chance for me to do anything. As you see here, I swapped the 4-star into there to give Marcia extra attack, or anyone, maybe Corrin for example, to try to get a little extra damage, and it still wasn't enough. Tiki was in that one. I don't know if you saw it. Tiki's in this one as well. Just a nightmare of a character to deal with, and I literally can't do anything, so I just back out of that one as well. Now, I was hoping that I would run into different lineups so I could show a little more and grow a little further into that, but it didn't happen. So unfortunately, not a lot of arena content, but since I'm using 5 stars now, I'll show you a little more in the next one. But once again, most of the fights are fairly similar, so I'm trying not to show too much of that. I'm trying to show the more exciting aspects of it. And we pulled another 5-star hero. This is out of a different banner, so excited to have him. So here I get another 5-star from the Hero's Path. I'm only rank 6, and I've already got, I think, 2 free 5 stars. So that's really, really good. Like, they're basically raining from the sky at this point. I haven't even had to put any work in for them. Doing the regular chapter clears, you're also getting a free 5-star from it when getting to a certain point. So, like I said, they give you so much to offer. Even if you're unlucky in summonings, you're going to have plenty of teams to work with really strong heroes. So at this point, I don't know if there's any reason to actually use anything below 5-star. Yeah, there may be some options that you need in specifics, like a specific element with a specific type, like an archer or maybe a lancer, cavalry unit, whatever it may be. That you'll have plenty of options, I think, as a 5-star to be able to utilize most of these. And if you don't have a specific option, you can go to 4 stars from there. Now, one thing I was curious about, it came down as a 4-star, but it had question marks for both the name and the title. And so I don't know if it was just going to be a 4-star and it got upgraded to a 5-star, or if it's one that's naturally a 4-star that got auto-upgraded to 5 and saved me materials. Somebody will have to let me know on that, because I don't know exactly how that works. It's the first time I've seen anything like that, and I haven't read the description of the stuff to see whether it tells me on that. There may be like a rare chance to potentially upgrade a hero in that sense, but y'all can let me know in the comments what you think. But here you can see just how easy it is with these 5 stars, and this is a very low stage that I'm doing, but I'm trying to get a decent score on it because it does give you some really good materials. And I also added another hero that I had just gotten into this lineup because it has a great skill in the fact that you can move forward with one hero, make her go to your allied unit onto them like you would a heal or a buff, and it'll actually give them another turn, so I can get a full 2 turns with my strongest hero if I want to each run, which is really, really cool. It's a very, very nice skill, much along the same terms of your attack buffing, your defense buffing, for survivability. This is one of those ones that's going to change how you run a specific lineup. There's so many good ways to utilize these heroes that it's going to be mind-boggling for me for a while until I actually figure out what I'm doing. But I tried to show a little bit of the auto-battling because I'm not sure just how smart the AI is in particular, but if you do have a really strong team, that doesn't matter at the end of the day. So you can basically do whatever you want in that sense. Though I will say, some of the maps do ramp up decently quickly, and I think that's going to show a lot in hard mode as I move into that style in the coming week. So that's just something I will have to look at and let you know in the future. But so as of right now, this is what my roster currently looks like. As you can see, I have 15 different 5 stars, which is insane for the first week, and that's with all the troubles I had to go through with trying to get this to run on BlueStacks, because I tried to make up some of the extra time in a couple of the days, because it would do an update and then it was no longer able to play on the device, is what it would say. So I'd have to do all these different workarounds. I looked up a whole lot of different things, tried many different ways. Half the time it didn't work, and I finally got it to work again. I'd spent hours trying to figure out why it keeps doing it. So I'm having to download and rechange some of the BlueStacks stuff every single time that I get on, it seems like. So I'm having a bit of a hard time getting it going, so do bear with me on that. But I'm going to set up some of these other teams and kind of look and see what I like best. Now, they're not going to be the best setups, obviously. I've got a lot that I need to do and a lot that I need to go over and figure out exactly, but man, I'm just loaded down with 5-star heroes, so it's going to be a great showing, at least for the game, as far as what they give you, because I do think so far they give you a decent amount of stuff to work with, so it's got a little bit of hope for the future. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. This has been The Last Musketeer, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.